Bellamy was written in 1885 and set in Paris, but actually we chose it because it's very much about how we are now. It's about a young man with very few talents who manages to seduce his way to the top of society. He's a kind of triumph of mediocrity. It's very much to do with kind of celebrity culture. And it's also about a corrupt media in league with a government that pretends to invade a Muslim country for the good of the people, but is in fact secretly after their mineral wealth. So clearly it has nothing to do with the present situation at all.
Ironically, we were thinking of doing it for the stage, and then suddenly our producer came along with an early draft. And he said, have a look at this. And we did, and we grabbed it with both hands.
He said, have you read Bellamy? And he had to say yes last week, which made us seem very literate, but it was in fact just a coincidence.
But it was a wonderful opportunity, and it's been fantastic working on it.
Well, we've worked together for a very long time in the theatre.
I'm a designer, in fact, in the theatre, and Declan directs. But it seemed to us that the skills worked really well in film, because, in fact, we thought, how is it possible for one man or one woman to do this job? Because it's so complex, there are so many demands, and that our skills seem to divide completely, naturally, into two areas of filmmaking. Of course, you need absolute trust and complicity, if you like, which we have, because we've worked together now for 35 years.
Basically divided up. Nick looked after the camera and the shot, and I'd look after the actors, and then later we'd collaborate on moving the actors within the shot. But all I know is that we lived together. We'd get in the same car in the morning. We'd be driven to the set at 6 o'clock. I'd go out one door, and he could go out another. And immediately he'd get 50 questions, I'd get 50 questions, and we'd reconvene at lunchtime and just over the shot. But we did a 35-year warm-up, so I don't recommend you to do it at home unless you've... I suspect a gunshot wedding wouldn't be a great idea for your film debut, but for us it was. There's an awful lot of collaborative duos, the Taviani brothers, the Coen brothers, and there's Pound Pressburger. There are a lot of people who've collaborated on film, so it's not that unusual.
Yeah. As you said, you've got a rich history through theatre as well, so coming to do something different, was there any fallout at all, or did you just carry on as you've been for the past 35 years?
Well, it was completely different, but at the same time, completely the same. No, there was no fallout at all. I mean, and we had an amazing support. Yeah. The crew were absolutely fantastic.
And
everybody who worked on it
fantastic.
Was just amazing.
I mean, the level of support is absolutely amazing. It was quite a low-budget movie, and it was a kind of project for people who really believed in the story, really believed in the script, and the actors all wanted a challenge. You know, they're all doing different things in this movie from what they've done before. In a very big way, and we were very honoured that they trusted us to see them through those doorways. We had an absolutely wonderful time doing it. There was a wonderful atmosphere on set.
So you surrounded yourself with a great cast. So tell us a wee bit about that.
Well, Rob came very early on, and he read the script and absolutely loved it and really related to the character. And we met him, and that was like a marriage immediately. He has always been wonderfully committed and is a terrifically serious actor.
And he insisted, very interestingly, he insisted on rehearsing for a whole month in London before we shot one single piece of film, which is quite very, very unusual in somebody with as busy a schedule as he has. So he was incredibly committed, and he couldn't have been a nicer guy and a more talented guy to work with in that part.
I think the reason that Robert Pattinson was attracted to this role is that it's the complete opposite of everything that he's played so far. I mean, the man is, the character of Bellamy is vacuous, talentless, and really totally selfish. And Rob is a very talented actor, but he completely understood the part, completely understood the character.
Yeah, and at the risk of sounding po-faced or pretentious, all artists, you all grapple with, I do, with your insecurity about your own talent. It's sort of very dodgy artists indeed who come saying, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm a genius, I'm talented. Nobody that I know who does good work thinks like that at all. Everybody's very kind of... And I think that's one of the reasons why this character is so fascinating to us, really, because he gets to the top with nothing. And it's very much a parable for our time, and I think the fallout of the story is quite ambivalent. and he gets everything, and he doesn't even get punished. I think it's surprisingly modern, but I have to say that that's what we've always done. We've always taken... I think a classic is... We both think classics are pieces of work that are about now, not about then. I mean, we didn't do the movie because we were interested in how people were in 1885. We're interested in 1885 shedding light on, not so much on politics now, although partially that, but also just how we still are. It's interesting, too, to see these women, these very powerful actresses, Uma Thurman, Christina Ricci, and Kristen Scott Thomas, played these women who are very powerful in their society, albeit they have to work through men. And it's interesting seeing each of them really undo themselves for sex in a way that we're kind of used to seeing men doing in our public life. You know, in many instances recently of the curse of Aphrodite, as famous politicians fall at the last moment for some indiscretion. But these women risk a lot and in different ways ruin themselves because of their attraction to this guy.